Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Flesh and Blood stream. Tonight I'm going to be playing Fatigue Bravo. Not something I thought I'd ever really hear myself saying. Fatigue decks are like they're fine. I'm not a huge fan of them, to be honest. Like, I really think that they hamper the game and its style of play personally. So I'm not a huge fan of what they contribute to the game. But I think you'd kind of have to be a fool right now to say that fatigue isn't a real part of the game and that Flesh and Blood has, evolved in a lot of ways. And so I think a lot of Flesh and Blood evolving has turned into people playing fatigue style strategies and realizing that certain heroes can be run out of cards and that it's easier to fatigue other heroes than it is some others. So Fatigue Briar is going to rotate out. I need to find something for ProQuest season that I really like and I want to play. So I'm looking at Fatigue Bravo. Now, when I say Fatigue Bravo, this isn't Bravo with some Sigil of Solace. This is Fatigue Bravo. Like, we're playing Spinals and Cripplings and Command and Conquers, but those are all pivotal tools in actually fatiguing a deck. But this is like hard Fatigue Bravo. So I'm curious to see how it does. I've got a list put together that I'm kind of excited to play and see kind of how it pulls together. You think fatigue is on the upswing? Sadly, I think that is probably sadly the truth. I wish I was wrong, but it's probably on the upswing, yeah. I know I'm fatigued. Why are you fatigued, Allie? I'm curious. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some games. I think Fatigue Bravo is going to be a real thing. So, I don't know if it's going to be great. I mean, there's no way we're going to beat this matchup, but this is going to be a miserable matchup all the way around. So we want other poppers. Question is, like, do I want to be on red staunches to be able to cover up things a lot easier? Like, to cover, they do have some heralds. I guess we'll have poppers to deal with heralds. Is really the question. Sunkiss, Fate Foreseen, Command and Conquer. Yo, Kyle becoming a member. Appreciate you, brother. I appreciate that, man. It means a lot. I don't know. It was clever, LMAO. Hey, I mean, whatever works, right, Allie? We'll bring in the Fighting Spirits, and I don't know if we want to take out Sink Belows or Respites or something. Maybe we'll cut Respites and just play 60 cards with extra poppers. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, Iris Dromai is not going to be fun. Like, this is not going to be a fun thing to play against. This enters the arena, create a Ponder token. They pitch a lot of cards to be... Oh, my gosh. Miserable. We can't even attack the Figments, which is the worst part. So we're just kind of stuck, attacking multiple things over and over and over again and trying to keep the pressure on any way that we can. Yeah, we'll attack Haze Bending. We got to start trying to play board control at some point. This is going to be tough. You had to wait so your sub will be right after my credit card was due so it wouldn't mess up my balances. Lol, that's hilarious. That's great, dude. That's hilarious. But I get it. I understand. I truly do. I truly do, my friend. All right, we'll go Healing Balm. Well, Heart's not going to do us much good here. Shoo. Pitch Heart of Fiendel. We're just going to keep making a tech plating here over and over again. I probably should have brought in some amount of Arcane Barrier here, I imagine. Was probably the correct lineup if I had to think about it, but I really wasn't, if I'm just being the truth. If I'm just telling you the truth. I guess we'll just keep pitching poppers like this. We just want to keep stuff off the board if we can here. This is not going to be a fun matchup in any shape, form, or fashion here. Did you guys know you can support Aggro Blaze? And it includes stuff like, man, look, and hand jobs. Oh, wow. Kyle really throwing everybody for a loop right there at the end. I don't think anybody was ready for that. God knows I wasn't. Okay, so this is when they're going to start attacking us. I'm going to pitch the Command and Conquer here. Kyle really throwing us for a loop there at the end. Good lord. Saying fatigue makes me think of someone just chugging stamina potions in Skyrim. I mean, I could see that. Like, I don't think that's completely crazy at all. I'm glad you saw that. Carly said, excuse me. Listen, I'm definitely denying it. Definitely denying it. There's no doubt about that. My man's is going to get an action point back here. Play Shimmers of Silver. Okay. Well, we're definitely just going to have to kill the Shimmers of Silver. That is a real problem if we let that stick around on the field. We don't make the rules, Carly. Oh, he only does hand jobs for $4.99. Yeah, Kyle's on to me, clearly. Good lord. Me carrying 145 wheels of cheese? What do you mean I'm overburdened? That's hilarious. I'm going to go ahead and pitch Starstruck here. Starstruck is a very good late game card. Command and Conquer is a decent popper. We've already cycled one back into our deck. Being able to keep our life total at 40 so far has actually been moderately impressive. Sad parts, we're just going to have to take 4 here. It's just the way our hand lines up. Inhale the cheese. Oh god, what is this? Well, we're just going to do this. Oh, Lord. So let's pitch our Command and Conquer, make a Surge. And then we'll attack Pierce Reality here. Keeping poppers in our deck and continuing to cycle cards through here. This is a very uphill battle, and like this is going to be a very hard game to win. Like, just as a whole, like this is not going to be an easy matchup at all. There are 0 Go Again cards in my deck. Literally 0 Go Again copies of cards in my deck, so I guess I'm just gonna sink below. We'll put a buckling blow on the bottom, I guess. Well, the Sunkiss doesn't really help us too much. Life gain cards are good, but not if they come at a fault. So, whoop. Let's make a Surge token here. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have an Arclight. That would be bad news for us. We'll attack the Genesis here, pitching our cards. Shoo. This is going to be a long game and not a fun one. We'll have plenty of poppers to deal with their Heralds. The problem is going to be actually attacking them and dealing damage to them here. We'll pitch Cranial Crush here to pay for the Spectral, or to pay for the Brothers in Arms here. That is 3 Brothers in Arms. That leaves us with 3 Fate for Scenes and 2 Sink Belows here to be able to cover up cards cleanly. I'm on the edge of my seat. Good lord. Oh, Carly just being a savage. So this is 9 with Phantasm, so I'm just going to pop this here. We want to save our equipment for as long as we can, and if I have to get rid of some decent popper cards to be able to like clear off their turns, then so be it. They have a lot of defensive tools, so attacking them is going to be very difficult over the course of the game. I don't even know that I really, like, I need to get the Spectral Shield off the board, but I don't know that I really want to attack them here. Or do I just want to play, like, make a Surge and play my Healing Bomb? I guess I could Arsenal my Disable. I don't really think that's a great option either. Let's do this. Let's hope they don't have an Arclight here. We're just kind of praying they don't have one. We're just going to pass, go up to 53 and then down to 49. So we're currently up 3 cards in our deck. And every turn, we're just continuing to put cards back into our deck. Me, it's being a troll with holding info. Okay. Damn the bots. Cough it up, stream elements. Ben's always thinking the bots are going to be sentient. Oh, God. That is so bad for me. God, that's so bad. That's terrible, honestly. So let's pitch Spinal Crush to make a surge. We'll attack. I guess we got to hit the haze bending here. Like, I just think that's how it has to be. We're going to play Sigil as an instant, go to 42. And then we're going to arsenal our healing bomb here. All right, well, thankfully we have the disable in our hand, which does serve as a pretty good popper here, even through the Parable of Humility. Oh my God. You guys are on one tonight. I guess I'll just put the sigil on the well, no, I don't really want to put the sigil on the bottom. We'll put that on the I guess it's opting. We're not syncing here, so we're gonna put that on the put the Starstruck on the bottom. Very good power card late in the game if we ever do get a turn. Like, at some point, it'll just be blues in their deck, and they'll just be able to attack us with all of their shields and things that they have. So we will, at some point, have to, like, find a turn. So this is just a 3 for 6 here, is all this is. Like, there's no go again here, so I'm just going to block 3 and take 3, go to 35. By the way, I saw your Rocket Ram short had 2,500 views. Way to go. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, I saw earlier and it had like, I was like, it had a lot more than I thought it would. I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy about that, if you want the truth. That was a pretty exciting moment. Like, I really like when like one of my shorts takes off or something like that. It's really cool. So I appreciate that, man. It means a lot. Let's attack Parable. I mean, at some point we got to run them out of things they can add to the board. Now we're quite a ways away from that, but at some point we will hopefully run them out of things that they can add to the board. Hopefully there's enough life gain in our deck to keep us in a reasonable spot, and maybe there'll be just enough turns during their game, within their game plan, so that we'll be able to actually, there'll be just enough spots where they're forced to attack us with multiple heralds, just like this. So they're playing that as well. So this is just going to be met with a Macho Grande in case they do have the, in case they do have a Parable. Parable would have been backbreaking for us there. So let's go make a surge. And then I'm going to throw... Wait, did I not have a surge there? I guess I didn't have a surge, so I'm just going to attack them. Let's just throw 6 at them here and try to put them in an awkward spot. The more turns that we have where we can actually pressure our opponent, the better off we're going to be. Now, I'm afraid there won't be a lot of them, unfortunately, so... There just won't be that many turns where we can really pressure them a ton. Like, they're playing Pierce Reality here. This honestly, so like if we dominate Crippling Crush, if they have a defense reaction, because if they had a blue, they would have attacked us. So they had a defense reaction of some variety here. For those curious about the Rocket Ram video. Huh? I assume she's about to post a link. Carly plugging me, posting a link to this would be awesome. They have pitched 1 Arclight and played 0, so activate Bravo would be a sad way for our turn to go. So if they activate Bravo, they have 1, 2, 3. I mean, we could throw Bravo here. honestly just like throwing the Crippling Crush at them. This honestly threatens Pummel. Ah, I just dropped my shuffling cards. I hate when I drop my shuffling cards randomly. Yep, so they did have a defense reaction. I was correct. So the crazy part is if they do this, they don't take anything, but they only end up with 1 Spectral Shield after it's all said and done, which I think is a little bit of a win for me. So we're starting to take some of their resources off the boards here. Bots might be blocking my link. I'll look after this game. Somebody was asking about posting a link the other night, and I was having trouble getting it to work. So I'm not sure if there's just like a problem with the links and stuff. There might be, honestly. So this is for 7 with Phantasm. Let's give a Thunderquake here and pop this. They could have another Herald they want to throw at us, and if they do, we can still just hammer down. It's like if they do activate that, and then they throw a Snatch at us. This is actually really convenient for us anyway, because we can just sink below this. Put our Fighting Spirit on the bottom. Covering up their attacks pretty well to this point. At some point, they're going to get us when we go to activate Tech Plating with them having an Arclight Sentinel, but we're just kind of like playing through the grind here, hoping that they can't see. Now, this is a scary turn. This is a very scary turn. They've played 2 Snatches so far, which means there's 1 Snatch left in their deck. So we have a ton of equipment here. I'm just going to Fate Foreseen this and put a card in the bottom and take 3. I have no interest in giving them another Spectral Shield here. That seems like a very dumb play for me. They could also flash something in. I guess I can't put something on the bottom. I guess we'll put that on the bottom. And they just pass. Interesting. So we pitch Healing Balm to make a surge. We'll play a Healing Balm from Arsenal, and then we'll Arsenal a Sunkiss here. Exclamation point Stream Elements. Lol. Diablo is sometimes an angry person. Not always, but sometimes he is an angry person. Love a good snatch. Good God, Ellie. That's hilarious. So, again, not super likely that we get to just keep this hand here, but if they don't really add anything to the board, like if we can just give a Fighting Spirit here. All right, well, we're not just going to be able to give a Fighting Spirit. We're going to have to give... We're going to have to kill the Parable here. So let's attack the Parable and let's just pitch. I'm going to keep the Fighting Spirit in my hand because, yeah, I mean, that's fine. Like, I declared attacks first. So that's fine. I mean, it just means that we're in a bad spot, that they're going to get to attack us with two things here. We'll go Starstruck then Macho Grande. Ooh, this is not great. I mean, this is their last one, so if we give blue Fighting Spirit and Crater Fist, I think that's okay. I think that leaves us in a pretty decent spot here. We're not going to gain any life, but the blue Fighting Spirit's not a popper for late in the game. I'm going to pitch Fighting Spirit to make a surge. And then we're just going to attack the Arclight Sentinel here. And we're putting cards back into our deck, leaving ourselves with a popper in case we need it. Now, it's good we did because we only found one. I really wish my work computer would stop going off. It is 7:30. I will never understand people who are working 2.5 hours after the day ends. Hey, yo, 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 yo. This again feels like another, like the Miraging Metamorph, like getting the +2 here from Pierce is really good, but I'm not going to pop it because we're going to give them Go again. So I'm just going to give them Fate Foreseen here. Fate Foreseen is all we want to do. We're going to see what we can opt. Is there one more Sink Below left in our deck after this? So there's one more Sink Below in our deck, and we cut the Oasis Respites. We'll bottom that. Good blue for late in the game. So we take 5 here, go to 33. Now they're only going to go down one card here. They're going to go up to 31. Ooh, they're going to activate Halo. Okay, so they're trying to get the Angel package going here. The cool thing is that we can attack the Angels, so we don't actually have to... Now, I hate that they get 2 Spectral Shields out of that. That is obnoxious, but it is what it is. Attack Pierce Reality, and then we'll play the Sigil, go to 36. Like, so this turn, if they have pitch blue, and then just come in with the house here, like that's pretty bad for us. They've only really had a couple of turns where they added 2 auras to the board. But I mean, we could. No, this is not pitch stack. We're not to pitch stack yet. We're getting close. If Heart's in our next hand, then it was pitch stack. But if not, we'll know. So they play Genesis. I mean, if they attack us with one of them... What does Prism do? Banish a card from Prison Soul and awaken target Figment. Okay. This is going to be tough. All right. Wow, what a turn they have here. So they have Genesis. It won't even let me scroll to see all the things they have. That's obnoxious. I think we're going to have to attack Genesis because Genesis gets out of hand too quickly. If I'm just being honest, like Genesis is a real problem. Like all of those cards are a real problem, but I don't think we can do anything to stop it. So this is pitch stack. Okay. There are no more parables in their deck, so there is that. I'll be home in a bit if you want to jam a game. Yeah, absolutely, man. That sounds good. That sounds good, man. I mean, we're just going to block 3. This is the unfortunate part of the game where we're forced to just start using our life total as a resource in hopes that we can clear the game, clear the board here. Now, that's not going to be easy because they're just at a point where their deck is just all blues. This is the point of the game that I was really afraid of. Like, this is the point of the game that truly terrifies me. I guess we want to attack the Haze Bending. So we'll block 3, go to 26. And see, now they're just keeping cards in their deck. So there is a fear of us getting fatigued from here. We're just gonna, again, we're gonna attack the Haze Bending. We gotta clear this stuff off the board. It's our only way out of this game is to just clear everything off the board here. Like we're up 7 cards currently, but that can change pretty quickly because they just have a bunch of hammers on the board that are just gonna be really hard to deal with. Block Terra Sunder. Yeah, this is going to be impossible. Like, I don't really think we can win this game. Like, they're just blues the rest of the way. Without having Go Again stuff in our deck, I really just don't think there's any way for us to, like, play around this kind of stuff. We have to hit shimmers. Like, again, we're just in a spot where we have to hit the shimmers, I think. Like, there's just no option for us here. Like, we were doing a good job of keeping stuff off the board early in the game, but it's just, like, there's so many auras for them. They just have so much stuff. Like, and again, we're now at a point in the game where we're just forced to sit here and block 3 things and kill something. Like, this is where they're going to start taking all the cards out of our deck. This is where we're going to really run into a problem. God, another shimmers. So kill shimmers, because they're just going to put a counter on one of the spectral shields, and then we'll just be up a creek. We go to 32, then to 28, so we're still up 5 somehow. Now, we still have a bunch of life gain in our deck that we can try to utilize. But I, like... They have more auras, and they have more angels in their deck. They've only gotten... Like, they still have the Erudition sitting out here, and they've only flipped the protection. I need them to not have an aura to add to the board this turn, so that we can take the ability... We can take the chance... Okay, so that's a decent start for us. Guess let's block Thunderquake. I need to be able to kill the ally here. Block 2, take 2. Like, I know it's an inefficient use of Sunkiss here, but we're just going to die if we don't start getting cards off the board. So we're going to hit the Angel, and now we have to take a turn off where we use our equipment, and we really hope that we can pop something to end their turn, and then we can throw like a 10 or an 11 at them. If we have the capability to throw a 10 or an 11 at them one time, we might be able to get on the front foot enough to get their Spectral Shields off the board. The only way we're going to win this game is to get their Spectral Shields off the board. Like, again, like, God, man, like, I love Guardians. I love the way Guardians play. I feel like this was, like, actually pitch stacked pretty well. Like, and that's not just me, like, trying to, like, toot my own horn. Like, I'm seeing, like, these good turns that were pitch stacked here. Like, now I understand you're probably sitting there going, you're a Guardian player, like, how hard is it to pitch stack? Like, I hear you. I was probably supposed to keep the Spinal Crush. Let's do this. Let's put our Sunkiss on the bottom of the deck. I mean, was really hoping for like a blue there. I'm not able to play that if I don't keep this. This is for 7. I mean, technically I could take it all if I wanted to. Take 3, go to 5, and then I can throw 10 at them. Make them start blocking with some cards. Like, if there's a chance for me to flip this game, it's now. Like, we were up 6 cards, then we were up 5 cards. Now we're only up 3 cards over the last couple of turns. So they can't let this crush, or they can't attack us with the Spectral Shields. And if they let it crush, then, like, they have to block it all or lose some Spectral Shields here, which I'm pretty okay with. Okay, there's 7. You got another... Is that all you got? They go down to 1 Spectral Shield and pass. Okay. I mean, they've played this game pretty well, so I assume they know what's going on. Like, I assume that my opponent understands what they're doing. I think this is the correct play here. We take 1, and then if they throw a Herald at us, we have the popper with the Fighting Spirit. So we essentially get to block 6 here, stay at 4. And then we get to throw a hammer at them. And, I mean, they have plenty of defense reactions left, I'm sure. But if they don't have one here, they're forced to give us 2 cards. No, they like their hand enough to just keep it the way it is. Okay. So we block 6 here. We're going to play Healing Bomb and go to 7. Man, did we actually manage to get out of this somehow? Or is this the calm before the storm? You really never know. We're now down a card, which is like a tough scene. We get to go to 8 and pop a Herald here, which is like Value Town USA for us. And then how many Starstrucks have we gotten rid of? I know we've played one. Have we blocked with another one? Yeah, so this is the last one. So I'm actually going to block with the Macho Grande and hang on to the Starstruck here. So if I Tear Asunder them for 4 and Arsenal the Starstruck, is that better than pitching 2 cards here to make a Surge? I don't think so. They're pretty much just going to take whatever we do the rest of the turn and the rest of the game in hopes of hanging on here. Man, this is just enough to dominate something. Okay, so this is terrifying. If we take 5 here and go to 3, there's no way that's correct, right? There's just absolutely no way that's right. We just have to give them Crippling Crush here. And then we can give them our Fighting Spirit here. We go to 9 this way. So at this point, we're trading 2 cards for 2 cards every turn. And I'm afraid we're down just enough cards to where this is going to not favor us. I mean, they can't just keep taking 4 forever. And that will at some point value us, but at some point we are going to run out of poppers. Like, there's no way I'm ever just supposed to pass here, right? Like, there's no way that's correct. I have to, like, attack and do stuff here. Yeah, yeah. And then they can activate this to awaken Herald of Erudition to draw 2 cards if they want. I think I'm just supposed to go to 5 here. I sadly think I'm just supposed to go to 5 here. How many Arc Lights have they played? They've only played 2, I think. 1. There's no way they've only played 1. I'm tripping, right? I know they've played all the Parables. 1 Arclight Sentinel right here. Am I looking over the other one? Oh my god, have they really only played 1 Arclight? Eh. Pitch Sunkiss. Okay, so there's the Arclight. So I technically could have played around it by just attacking. So they just pass. I don't think they got yourself high enough to take some damage. Yeah, that's pretty much where my mindset's at, like that last turn right there. Okay. Okay. this is where it gets crazy. I love and I hate these turns. Okay, so I mean the real options are this is a Crippling Crush. So the real options are activate Bravo, dominate Crippling Crush, make a surge, Arsenal, Command and Conquer. Or we just make a surge and hit the Genesis here. Like those are our two options here. You know what? I'm actually not gonna Arsenal Command and Conquer. I'm going for it. Like it's maybe not correct because they can just take 11, but they are at a point in the game where like, okay, so they have so there's their last Arclight, so that takes our options away, which is fine. Like that means we're just coming in here with the hammer to kill that. That doesn't really like it stops our turn, but it doesn't really like it's not a blowout for us or anything. Like we still get to have a pretty normal turn here. They're gonna pitch a yellow Herald of Erudition here to come in with Genesis. I think they have one left in their deck. Oh, is that all you got? Okay, so that hasn't come back around yet. So let's count their defense reactions. 3 Sink Belows, 2 Fate Foreseens, 1 that all you got, so that's probably their last Fate Foreseen. So block there. Take 1, go to 5. Surge pops. Make a surge. Pitch our Cranial Crush to hit the Genesis. Let's play this grindy game. We're up cards now. We're in what feels like a favorable position at this point in time. This is a really good hand. Sink Below, put the Starstruck on the bottom. Actually, I just pitched a red. Sink Below, put the Chokeslam on the bottom. Yeah, Sink Below. Let's put the Debilitate on the bottom. It technically has a higher impact value, so let's do that. Let's go Sink Below, put the Debilitate on the bottom. Terra Sunder's a good card. This is the -1, right? Yep, so we're going to pop this. If they have another popper, if they can gain an action point and then throw a popper from their arsenal, or throw another Herald from their arsenal, then so this is actually a great turn because I can just throw the Crippling Crush now. There's nothing on the board for me to worry about, and I can just throw the Crippling Crush here. They're forced to give me cards out of their deck, which is a super big win for me, and I'm getting to put 2 cards back into my deck and play a card from my arsenal. Now, they may just take 11 and say that they're just going to discard 2 random cards and roll and, you know, just YOLO it from here. But, I mean, Nathaniel, if you're still there, buddy, I jumped in the Discord so that we could chat whenever you got on. Okay. Pretty weird that you gave me Tunic there. That seems not bright in my opinion. Just being brutally honest, I don't really understand the reason for giving me Tunic in that spot. So let's net take 1 here, block with a non-popper. Okay, so pitch Heart to activate Tectonic Plating, activate Bravo, throw Command and Conquer. It forces cards out of their hand. We go back to 6. Yo, what's up, guard? How are you, brother? Hey, Bobby. Thanks for coming by and hanging out, man. I appreciate you stopping by, brother. I was like, I know you played Bravo for a while, man. This is definitely an experiment that I'm testing with right now. Okay. Pitch a card and then swing hammer for 4 here. I'm good. Saying hey while you're live. Well, dude, I appreciate it. Yeah, I saw you live earlier, man. I was like, I saw you. I opened up Kick right before I was about to start streaming, and so I figured I'd drop by and let you know I was lurking, man. Show you some love. All right, now that's gonna be a problem. I mean, I guess they've been sitting on it. No time like the present, right? I need to be able to keep Cranial Crush here. That is the utmost important goal of my turn right now. Keep Cranial Crush. Let's block Command and Conquer. Take 1. Oh, they can't attack here. This is it. Like, this is game right here. Yeah, this is 100% game. Yeah. So we're gonna pitch all of our cards here just to make sure. Like, I'm gonna pitch as many cards as I can. Let's just keep cards in our deck. Keep cycling cards in. Crazy part's, I think we're gonna win this in time too. If we do win, I mean, don't get me wrong. We could still lose this game. Like, we could still lose this game. We still have some life to play with here, thankfully. Let's pop this. We need to get that Spectral Shield off the board. That's honestly the only thing I'm worried about right now. Getting that Spectral Shield off the board. If we had Remembrance, this game would be so over. Like, it wouldn't even be funny how over this game would be. Go to 2. They're just going to pass their turn. I guess I could just throw the Choke Slam here. Force them to block with 2 cards. Hey, how did Nationals go? Hey, Mattis, what's up, buddy? So I finished 8 and 6 at 105th, I think is what I finished. I went 4 and 4 in CC overall. Not a great showing in CC. 3-0 the first day draft and then 1-2 the second day draft. So Nats was kind of like a roller coaster. For me, it was a little all over the place, if I'm being honest. But I had a good time, had a lot of fun. Me and Carly had a really good time, and we hung out with some really fun friends. So it was a good time. It was a good time. We enjoyed it quite a bit. Dude, I'm sorry, I can't remember. Were you playing at Nats? Like, did you have a Nats you were playing at? My memory is terrible. I wonder if I was supposed to block with my Sunkiss and then throw my Cranial Crush. Like, if I block with my Sunkiss and throw my Cranial Crush, then I'm able to... Okay, yeah, they realized they were going to lose the card race there. So if I block with Sunkiss, I'm able to throw one of my Cranial Crushes there because I get to keep 2 blues. So pitch 2 blues to throw Cranial Crush. I do go to 1, and then they have to give me 3 cards out of their hand, and then they pitch to throw Shield, and then we throw Hammer, and they lose the Shield, and then therefore lose the game. Played your total game time in 41 minutes. So 41 minutes and 25 seconds probably translates to like 50 to 52 minutes in paper. So ended up winning that game. So I feel pretty good about that. beat Prism with Fatigue Bravo. I'm gonna be honest, I never thought those are words that would come out of my mouth, but you know, we take it. It is part of what it is. Next time we know to shuffle in our remembrance if our opponent is looking to play that kind of game. Did you play Lexi though? I play like do you mean like did I actually play Lexi myself? Yeah, I did. Man, this will be a tough matchup. This will be a really hard matchup because we need we just need aggression in this matchup, honestly, more than we do anything. I wish I was able to put in more aggression. Hey. Actually, let's cut the respites. I'm leaving the sink belows. Yeah, that's tough. We'll do what we can here. Yeah, I played Lexi. I went 4-4 in CC. Round 1, I beat an Icelander. Round 2 of CC, I beat a Briar. Round 3, I lost a super close game to Bravo. And then round 4, I lost a super close game to Dromai. It was actually the guy who created Ferrari. Philip, I believe, was his name. Superb guy. He was nothing but nice and super fun to talk to. Had a good time chatting with him and just kind of like cutting up with him. He was really fun to talk to. And then day 2 of CC, lost a close game to Viserai. Beat a Lexi, beat a Dory, lost to Dromai again. So the only deck I played twice all weekend was the only deck I played all weekend twice was Dromai, actually, which was kind of weird, but Dromai is a super close matchup, I feel like, if you're playing Lexi. At least it was for me. I feel like it's like it's a really awkward, very close game that really depends on like Dromai's skill level personally. Dromai is tough if Pilot is good. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And both the Dromais I played were very good. They were very good players, and they really understood what was going on and how the matchup was supposed to be played. So it was fun. I had a good time. I honestly feel like the Sunkiss, like all of that stuff, is just kind of like delaying the inevitable. I mean, unless they're gonna boost into me. Actually, I think I'm just supposed to get Buckler and just take 1 here. Like, I can't Tear Asunder. I need another blue. I can't Tear Asunder and Chokeslam here. I could Tear Asunder Hammer if I wanted to. Pitch Fighting Spirit to make a Surge. I can also just block with a Fighting Spirit and a Tear Asunder, and then, or I'm sorry, block with a Chokeslam and a Tear Asunder, and then throw Fighting Spirit for 6 here, which I think is like my highest value play, for sure. We'll block with the Chokeslam here for sure. I'm surprised to see my opponent boosting. You'll kind of notice that I had like a knee-jerk reaction right there for a second. I was not expecting my opponent to boost right there. Very, very surprised to see that. I got lucky and only faced 1 Fatigue Briar, so finished undefeated. Funny thing, it was Dorinthia in the finals. Oh, dude. Well, congratulations on making the finals, man. That's exciting. That's awesome, dude. I feel like if Dorinthia opens hot, it can actually be tough to win that matchup. Like, I personally think it can. Like, from Lexi's point of view, it can be tough to beat Dory if they open hot. Like, if they open like with a couple counters pretty early or something like that. Is he about to boost again? I was like, wow, really, dude? I mean, he can boost here and there and still win this game. I'm just surprised. Wouldn't it be nice if we... Yeah, dude, making it all the way to the finals of your Nats is awesome, man. It's very impressive. Love to hear stories of people doing well like that. Wasn't even close. Beat him in Swiss once and had finals rematch. It was like 20 HP at the finish too. Gold foil was Dedum though, so a bit disappointed. It wasn't something I will play. I mean, hey, dude, like least you want a gold floor, right? Like, it's pretty cool on the weekend. It's all about perspective, brother. It's all about perspective. But like Dory's one of those decks that can punish you. Like if she gets away quickly and like early, like she can punish you. So I get that, man. I completely get that. Dash is one of those decks that you need to put a lot of pressure on to really have a shot against. And this is not the kind of hand that's going to put pressure on them. Our deck's just not really set up to put a lot of pressure on Dash. Now, we can get kind of lucky if they don't set up a lot of items. Yeah, I think that's a block I'm willing to take, honestly. Dash just doesn't really beat anything in the meta besides Bravo right now. Like, Dash doesn't really beat, like, Dash doesn't really beat Lexi. Like, Dash doesn't really beat anything in the meta. So, like, every time I see somebody playing it, I'm always surprised to see somebody playing it. It feels like it's just like a Dash diehard that refuses to let it go. And I say that as someone who likes to play Dash and understands that point of view. Even if I'd had a Surge there, I wouldn't be able to do anything, so... we'll make a Surge and just throw the hammer here. Maybe we, like, you know... Like, we have to, like, block when we can and then take our Crippling Crush turns when they come. The Crippling Crush, Spinal Crushes, like, Starstrucks, when we have those big turns where we can really, like, go ham and try to run our opponent over, that's when we'll take our big turns and try to get him if we can. I was very happy with my draft performance. Got fed matchups, good matchups in top 8, so took the trophy home. Maybe I'll see you in Barcelona, brother. I wish I was going to Barcelona, man. Carly and I have done so much traveling this year, like really already, that I like going to Barcelona is not really in the cards for me, financially speaking. I mean, but dude, if you go to Barcelona, man, I hope you have a great time and I hope you crush it, dude. I hope you crush it, man. I was really hoping to not only qualify for Worlds this year, but just be able to go. And like the way my life planned out this year, there's so many trips and so many things we were taking. I just like don't really have the time from work or other things to really be able to go to Barcelona right now. So I'm just going to enjoy watching Worlds again on YouTube or Twitch this year, wherever it's streamed at. Oh, and they opened a Plasma Purifier. Nice. I feel like this is a defense reaction. They've been sitting on it for a while. And if you've played against Dash a lot, you know that the percentages of them not opening with an item or a defense reaction when they're on the full 5 or 6 items and the 6 to 9 defense reactions is pretty low. Like they have a pretty high chance of opening on a defense reaction or an item in some variety. If you're playing, I think it's like, if you're playing 5 items in your deck, 5 items to search for, and you're playing, if you're playing 5 items in your deck and you're playing 9 defense reactions, your chances of not finding an item on turn 0, like you have a 63% chance to find an item on turn 0. And I know all this because I did the math with a hypergeometric calculator when I started playing, just because I'm a big nerd and I like to know that kind of stuff. Dash sucks, can't win. Merit can't bad. Dude, get out of here, Nathaniel. You're just being a troll. I wasn't able to go to previous ones, so I passed all PDIs to my friends, so I'm very excited to go. Dude, that's awesome. I'm glad you get to go, man. Like, I'm so excited to watch the content in regards to, like, Worlds and stuff like that. Like, there's always such good content, and people make such cool things around Worlds, so I'm really excited to see it all. So, man, like, I want to throw my Command & Conquer and, like, really, like, make them think that I have a pummel here. But having Command & Conquer pummel doesn't really do me anything in this spot. It'd really just be the value of attacking for 6. And I cannot attack for 8, unfortunately. So, it it's sad, but is the best option I have here to activate tech plating with the Brothers in Arms, actually with the Cranial Crush, activate it, and then play the Healing Balm or the Sun Kiss, whichever one we have. I sadly think that's my best option. They did set up another Purifier last turn, which is bad news bears for us. Like, we really need to be putting the pressure on them early. I think we're going to lose this game. I also felt like we were going to lose the Prism game too, if you guys want the truth. Like, I did not feel very confident about the Prism game, the Prism matchup last game at all. So, activate Purifier, load the pistol. Shoot me for 4. We're going to go Fate Foreseen. And we'll see what we opt into. Yeah, that's fine. Knew they were going to use Chamber here. The joy for me is that their turn is only 8 right now, so we'll leave that on top. I like the idea of being able to dominate a Starstruck here, because I don't think they can actually... I don't think they can use the pistol, if that's the case, because it has base power 2 if it crushes. Now, we don't know that it will, obviously, but... Load that, load this, load that, load that. Bang, 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 bang. Really? They've only boosted one time, so I'll show them a Brothers in Arms. I'm going to block with the Brothers in Arms, pitching a Healing Balm here. We'll block that out. Why did you not use your extra resource to shoot me? Or to load something? Okay, they realized. Okay, they realized. Okay. We're just going to take 4 here. Go to 40. I hate that we're already letting damage come through. And then they're probably going to Arsenal our last card, which means we're going to make a Surge and then Lord, and then play our Command and Conquer. So we'll be up a point. We'll get at least 2 cards out of their hand. Or if like their hand is like really good, I guess it could be like, give me Heart, Skullcap, and a card. I don't think there's a world where that is ever correct. Not saying it's not what my opponent won't do if their hand lines up that way for them, but I don't think there's a world where it's ever correct. Worst case scenario here for us is that they have a card to block with from hand and reinforce the line from Arsenal to play. I don't have pummels, so I never really like. I can bluff the pummel throughout the course of the game, and that's probably something I will do as the game goes on. Again, another hand where we are just incapable of... no, I dropped Scar for Scar. Another hand where we're just incapable of really throwing anything that's super relevant here. So this turn is probably take some damage from our opponent. Play the Fighting Spirit for 6 gain of life, and then Arsenal Starstruck, play Sigil of Solace. Or maybe I'm supposed to block with Starstruck here. I don't know. It's a pretty good card to have in my arsenal here, and I'm getting to gain 4 life on my swing turn. So their first pistol is basically nullified here by the fact that we're going to gain 4 life. So we basically only took 4 that turn, is how I'm looking at that turn. We're already up 5 cards, but the problem is that they have so many items in play already. Like, they could eventually probably win the game just with the items they have in play. Now, if they're playing the version of Dash that I think they're on, what I would assume every Dash player is on in some capacity, there's at least one more chamber in their deck. And they're running the 4-4 strategy into us. Okay, block with Command and Conquer. Dominate. Block with Command and Conquer and dominate Starstruck. Like, I think that's really our only line here. Yeah, I'll just take 2. Having triple blue in my hand is pretty good. Does he have a red he's going to pitch? All right, so he's pitching an unmovable, which means it has to be a defense reaction here, which is fine. If it is a defense reaction, he can block 7 with a card from hand and the defense reaction. Or if it's a different if it's another unmovable, then he does have the capability to just unmovable this for 8, take 2, go to 37, and then keep 3 cards in his hand. We need to like really find an awkward spot where we can get our opponent without a defense reaction, and we can just like force their hand a little bit here. Yeah, your Skullcap doesn't block for anything, Budrow, which is kind of nice. I'm really hoping this means he just doesn't have anything, and then he's just forced to take 5 here. Gosh, that would be an amazing turn cycle for us. Like, what a swap that would be for us. That would like really put us in a good position here. Now, are the chances of that likely? No, absolutely not. But if he's giving us heart here, there's a possibility. So again, my opponent's trying to save as much life as possible. I'm not really sure why. Like, I would be more interested in keeping my equipment for like a rainy day. Your equipment can need to come on a very good day, and if it doesn't, then you're in a bad spot. So I don't know, like maybe it's just the difference in how I play Dash versus other players. Not saying that our opponent here is like just indefinitely wrong, but I am saying I have a pretty strong opinion about it, and I don't agree with his actions here. We're going to Fate Foreseen, see what we find. See if we can find a good card. We're going to put Sink Below on the bottom. I don't want any of my defense reactions in this matchup at all. It's just how the cards line up. Cool thing about this hand is that... I mean, I guess if I wanted to, I could choose to try and bluff the Pummel here. They don't... Again, my opponent doesn't have a arsenal, so I'm not really, like, bluffing anything. So I might as well just block. So what I can do here, I go to 31. My opponent goes to 40 and then to 36. We're going to make a surge. We're going to throw the Command and Conquer, and then I'm going to Arsenal the Sigil of Solace. Sigil of Solace in your Arsenal is absolutely insane. It's really good in your Arsenal because it's kind of whatever you need it to be. Like, you can play it at instant speed. You can still crown it away if you want to. There's no reason to, but you can. Like, there's a lot of things you can do. You can do with a Sigil of Solace in a right situation. My opponent's really about blocking. Like, and like, I get it in certain situations. Yeah, the problem is now they're just keeping so many cards in their deck. I don't really want to sink anything to the bottom here, but I am going to keep... I'm going to keep my hand, and then... Now, my opponent's going to come in with a pistol one more time, I imagine. It's going to be their play here. So they're going to load the last thing. Swing for 4. We're going to go to 27. And then our opponent's going to arsenal their last card. Which means this turn they're going to be forced to give us 2 cards, which I'm a pretty big fan of. And this is kind of nice. because now we can definitely bluff the pummel. We are now in a situation where this could 100% be a pummel. And honestly, our opponent, if they have a relevant card there, they should play around the pummel here. I mean, I guess they could have a reinforce the line. They've played 2 of them, so... Okay, so in my head, they definitely have a reinforce the line here. Like... If my opponent doesn't have a reinforce the line, then, like, I think they genuinely just made a really bad decision. You can't convince me there's ever a world where it's okay to give up a card you care about here. Now, if they arsenal to blue throttle, then I guess it's fine not to play to just say, to not play around the pummel and say, yep, you know, it is what it is kind of thing. Oh, I wanted to sink below that. Crap. Oh well. Definitely wanted to sink that. Reactions. We're going to put the Fighting Spirit on the bottom. Actually, no, I'm just going to put the Thunderquake on the bottom. It's our best attacker. And then this is really good. We're going to activate Bravo and then throw the Spinal Crush here from our arsenal. Then I'm going to arsenal the Crippling Crush and try to set up a turn where I can dominate this sometime within the next 2 turn cycles. We're still high enough on cards and life to where we should be in a decent enough spot to not have to worry about life just yet. And we need to see another Crippling Crush or 2 before then. What do they block with a red 0 to 60? So I know that, like, my opponent retracted that information, but the chat box still tells me that. And if you want the truth, I see this as no different than my opponent laying the card on the table and me being like, okay, well, you showed that to me. It's now public information. I don't think it's very scumbaggy of me to, you know, like, look at the chat. It's public information. Like, you know, it's information I would have if we were playing in person, so... Because I've heard a couple of people say that, like, on, like, Twitter and some random places saying, like, oh, like, I hate that, like, it shows them that after I undo blocks. Well, it's like, you don't want that information to be out there. Think harder before you block. You know what I mean? Like, and there have been times where I have given up that information to people, and I'm like, man, I wish I hadn't given up that information. But it's like, sucks to suck. You know, like, I don't know. Maybe I have a different opinion than most people on that scenario, but... Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? Okay, my opponent must have an unmovable in their arsenal. No? Do they have another defense reaction in their arsenal? Or are they just taking 5 here? Wow, okay, so we connected with one of our big cards. Payoff turn came in clutch. We take those. Okay, well, they also have a pretty good payout turn. That is pretty good. Pretty good. We're just going to dominate. Actually, I'm going to make a surge first so that we can do whatever we want to do next turn as well. Crippling Crush is going to be super valuable here. If they have an unmovable in their arsenal, this is very bad for us. They're blocking quickly. It makes me think they do. So I guess they just decided they could play around the... they could play around the Spinal Crush last turn. Which, I mean, it makes sense. I can block 5 and gain a life, which means I'm essentially blocking 6 and then gain 6 here. Or and then attack for 6 with the buckling blow. Let's just go ahead and do this. We'll just net take 1 and go to 25. We also still have all of our equipment, which is not for nothing. It's just this game isn't really about equipment. It's about big swingy turns that like really put them on the back foot. So I'm going to go to 24. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is now they're swinging pistol for 4 3 times. They're now coming in for 12 over and over and over again. And every time they draw blue, it just gets harder for us to keep up. I mean, I personally think that I have to go to 20 here just to throw Buckling Blow. Buckling Blow demands a card out of their hand, or we get to put the last counter on their Teklo Foundry Heart. We do get to go back to 21. So block 6, gain a life on the attack, and then swing for 6. So a 13-point turn because of the heart life. So now this is probably just the one card they'll give us this turn. No, they'll give us 2. All right. I wouldn't have guessed that they would have given us 2 cards, but so I mean, I could have just taken 12 and thrown the sigil here, but I don't think that's my best plan. Now, they're only going to have 1 item loaded here going into this turn, but they're going to have all 4 cards. I've pitched quite a bit of reds here. I don't know. This is scary. I guess I'm just going to give my last card here. I'm going to play Sigil, go to 18 and pass here, and then Arsenal this. And then not the turn we were hoping for. So we're going to throw Crippling Crush, which they're going to have to give me 3 cards from their hand for. I'm hoping they have a red or something in their hand. Like, again, not super likely considering this point in the game, but like they play a lot of cards. They play a lot of blues in this deck, so you know what I could do? I could just go Crown and put Crippling on the bottom and try to string enough things together here. Actually, let's do that. I mean, a yellow is not what we wanted in any way, like whatsoever. Load. They'll probably pitch another blue and load some things, and then like it. So the worst case scenario for us is that they're pitching a blue to load 3 items, and then they're gonna arsenal a defense reaction here. And they're boosting. Again, I don't think that's a decision I would have made in that spot. That blue was definitely worth more. So we go to 8. So they have their 2 purifiers loaded, and that's it. All right. Let's gonna have to be a heck of a comeback season right here. Like, this is gonna have to be the heck of a swing around. So these two blues allow us to make a surge and throw this. This lets us activate Bravo. So dominate Spinal. Hope it hits. Like, hope we crush with this. We need them not to have an unmovable. Or they need to not have a red unmovable or the last copy of Reinforce the Line. Or maybe they're on 2 Reinforce the Line. There are some Dash players who play 2 Reinforce the Line, and in my opinion, you are crazy. But it's got to be Reinforce the Line. No, it just hits. Okay. You're telling me there's a chance. They load a chamber and pass, which means I hope they don't have a defense reaction, but they might. You don't have go again. Nothing you do has go again, brother. Nothing. I mean, maybe you want to load the pistol instead, I guess. I don't know. So we currently have... I mean, I personally think we should just make a... I think we should make a surge. Bravo. Crippling Crush. Okay. Like, I guess they're just choosing to throw cards at me. I guess they boosted just to get a card. Random water bottle just fell over behind me. Good lord. Merrick keeps me up at night. I bet it does, brother. I bet it does. Honestly, like... I understand. I'd probably keep me up too had I been in that situation that you were in. I mean, again, we're doing what we can here. Like, our Sun Kisses like aren't going to help us here. The only cards that really help us are Sigil of Solace, and they only help us because they can be played with other actions. So... God, is this the unmovable? No, they just took 11 and discarded 2 cards. Block Healing Bomb, Cranial Crush, throw Debilitate. I mean, you don't have Chamber loaded, so it's like, okay. I think most of our stores got ProQuest. Hope to see the house, guys. Dude, I appreciate it, man. I was like, I know a lot of your old stores got them. We were looking earlier. None of our stores got ProQuest, dude. It was... like, it is so depressing. Like, don't get me wrong. I love to travel and see you guys, Taylor. I really do. But, man, it's nice to have a ProQuest in my backyard every now and again, you know, where I can just drive 30 minutes, play in a ProQuest, and then come home, you know, like, and have a decent day, like, where I'm not, like, spending all day out and gone and stuff like that. Like, it's just that kind of, like, it's becoming more and more impossible for me to do those kinds of things. So, it's just tough. It's just tough to do that. But yeah, I think we'll be out of the box for sure. Hanging out. I was like, we'll definitely be up there playing. I can't imagine we won't be. He's in my dreams too, just different kinds of dreams. Good God. Everybody's wild in the chat tonight. Y'all lost your minds. Nathaniel's going crazy over here. I have to say, like, one of the things that I think is killing me, like, that has been a little bit of a hampering problem tonight, has been the fact that I have no go again. Like, Zealous Beltings would have gone a long way tonight. I mean, none of your items are loaded. So I could just, like, I guess I can block 3, stay at 7, swing the hammer. I think that just kind of has to be my turn. I'm curious to see if they'll give me cards here or if they'll just say no blocks and just go to 9. Like, if, like, I'm not really surprised. I do have to say, like, I knew that this hand was coming up pitch stack, like, wise, but, like, I still think we're just too little too late here. We don't have a ProQuest? Yeah, brother, nobody in our area got ProQuest. The closest ProQuest to us, Nathaniel, is Out of the Box and the one in Kentucky. Those are the 2 closest ProQuests to us. Now, that's what Silas told me earlier. I haven't actually, like, got to see this information for myself. This is what Silas told me earlier today, though. So, and I mean, you know, Silas is a reliable source, so I'm just kind of taking his word for things when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'll have one more turn where I can use my equipment to block. And, like, try to keep a couple cards. I just need that to come on, like... There's, what, one more Crippling Crush left in my deck, but I am a ways away from it. Like, I'm a ways away from my last Crippling Crush. I believe House of Cards also got one, which is, like, 10 minutes from Out of the Box. Okay, that's cool. It's nice to know that there's another one in the area. That, you know, that somebody else, like, in your area where, like, we will travel to and play at got one that... I mean, that makes it better. Might be like one of those, like, extended weekends where we, like, all, like, you know, get an Airbnb in that area. Kind of thing. But I don't know. I think I have to block here and take 1. I don't think the hammer's worth. I think I have to be dominating stuff. If I'm not dominating stuff, I think I'm just losing the game. Like... I think I just have to keep my life total up and hope that I actually did it in enough time. Yo, Mattis, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate you following along in my journey of mediocrity. Oh. Sink below. Titan's Fist, Terrace Under, Titan's Fist here. Might be our fault for not going to armories. So I'm so, like, that it could be the case. That could actually be the case that, like, we didn't go to enough armories, and so, like, now we're not getting a ProQuest because of it. I don't think that's it. Like, just being real, I don't think that's it. We're gonna sink and put the Macho Grande on the bottom. We're in the same boat here that we were in. Okay, so that's a defense reaction. Like, tried and true if I've ever seen it. So let's block 3, take 3, throw the hammer here. Our armories are like 10 to 15 people weekly. Oh, see, dude, that's awesome. Like, that's really cool. Like, I wish we had that many people. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm one of those people that's, like, guilty of, like, not making it to as many armories as I wish I could. I wish I could make it to more armories, but, you know, unfortunately, sometimes, like, life just kind of takes over, and, like, you end up in these spots where you can't really go to armories all the time. I don't think my man's wanted to put 2 sink belows up there. I was like, the disrespect. He's saying I don't need both these sink belows. You're just about to get destroyed anyway, which is accurate, but... Hey, Mattis becoming a member. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Means a lot to pay to support my channel, man. Means a lot. I really appreciate it. Nothing mediocre about practicing, man. Taylor, I appreciate it, buddy. Dude, I'm always trying to get better, man. You know, like, I try to use the off season in any way that I can to stay fresh on things, try out new decks and stuff like that. So we get 8 to 12 at 1 and maybe 4 to 8 at the one that always gets tournaments. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty accurate. Like, and like, it's like, our area, you know, struggles from the fact that we have about 15 to like 20 players who really play quite regularly, and we have about 5 to 10 people who come from like out of town areas to like play and like be a part of the community because they don't have a huge community where they're at. Now, like that leaves so like that puts us having the numbers that Nathaniel described pretty accurately. But you know, like everybody who plays cards, you know, like they're adults, man. You know, like that's how it is. You know, like we're all adults. Like we just you know, like people just have lives and things going on. So it's tough for a lot of us to make it to like, you know, all of the armory events. And especially for me, you know, like I plan a lot of my travel at the end of the year because I'm not planning on there being many like big events or ProQuest events or things like that, like for, you know, me to like play in. Now, unfortunately, this end of the year is not really shaped up that way. So let's see. Am I able to block 6 here or block 9 and stay in this? If I block 9, I'm taking exactly 3. So we're going to give Choke Slam here. Like, I'm just dead. Like, I'm probably dead this turn if my opponent has it mapped out well enough. Well, probably not with my equipment, actually, but if not this turn, next turn, they can boost something and get me next turn. I guess we'll give the Disable. Technically, Macho Grande is better at ending the game. It's technically a better card for me to keep in my hand. They boost a card from their hand here. Like, if they have something they can boost. Or, I guess I should save that for next turn. They should arsenal a card they want to boost here. They have blues, they should just load up here. I mean... They boosted a card before they needed to. If we are able to keep some healing bombs or something, then like we can try to like really extend this game out. But this game will just end the same way. They have too many good cards. So Fate on 1, Choke Slam on 1, Crippling Crush on 1 with Tech Plating, and then Heart to Hammer to go back to 2 on my turn. So we're continuing this like weird cycle of gaining life. I get 2 weekends a month free, so until I have a 9 to 5 armories are not regular. Yeah, like and I get that, brother. You know, like that's like I think that's a situation that a lot of us are in. Honestly, I think that's just the way of adult life is that, you know, like some people's jobs like really works out for them to play regularly, and some don't. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like everybody does what they can, you know, to survive in the world. Unfortunately, cards cannot be a full-time job for all of us. I wish it could be. I wish it could be. If streaming and playing cards could be a full-time job, I'd do it tomorrow. Actually, block Crippling Crush. They're going to throw something else at me, but I guess technically it's correct to block Crippling Crush in case they decide to do something else. I can go Tear Asunder into Heart, which would be pretty good. Literally hadn't played a game of Fab for like a month or two until night before Battle Hard in Atlanta. Well, let me tell you, having not played a game for like a month or two and then to like, you know, lose your way into top 8 was a really good run, dude. You had a very impressive run in Atlanta, man. We were we were all texting about how happy we were for you and how proud of you we were, man. Like, you know, like that was a great run, especially considering you hadn't really played that Bravo deck that you played. Like, you just, like Alexander said, you just kind of like picked it up like the night before or the day before or something like that. So, and this is where they get me, because I can't do anything to Heart. I can't use my Heart for anything. So I'm going to give my 2 pieces of equipment here. Yep, load your last 2 pieces and then shoot me, which is technically correct because they're playing around me being able to give like Tech Plating and a card from my hand. But we're just going to give these 2 cards and die. So well played game from our opponent. We did. I feel like I did everything that I could. There could have been some turns that I could have played differently, I'm sure. But I'm not really sure what those games, like what those turns look like, if they were going to be any different, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't think that the Fatigue Bravo deck is set up to beat the Item Pistol Dash. Like, that's not a winning matchup. So I think you need to be on like a more of an aggro Bravo for that. I guess we'll want to go first against this deck. We'll say good luck, have fun. This is a staunch response matchup. It's staunch response matchup if I've ever seen one. And then we'll just play 66 cards here into our opponent. We're trying to fatigue them anyway, so... Oh, can we get equipment on turn 1? Like, can we just turn 0 get equipment here? Like, this is really cool to do this. On turn 0. This is pretty cool. This is probably going to end up being a clip. Unless they're just like, block everything. Which they should. It's definitely the correct play. It's not like that's a winning matchup at all. Yeah, like, I don't think that's really a winning matchup when you're playing regular Bravo. Much less when you're playing Fatigue Bravo like we are, so... A 3? We need them to roll not a lot of 6s this game. Mattis, thanks again for becoming a member, man. I really appreciate it. It means a lot, buddy. I'm definitely a small-time streamer. So there are a lot of people you could support and choose to, you know, use your money somewhere else, man. So it means a lot. I appreciate it, buddy. This is definitely make a surge and swing the hammer Arsenal Sigil of Solace. Again, Sigil of Solace being an instant means that we can play it anytime we want to. So we're just going to leave that alone. And we're going to let this be like our good Arsenal card. Plus, it also tempts our opponent into throwing Command & Conquer pummel attacks at us. And then us being able to be like, oh, like, joke's on you, doesn't matter, kind of thing. So, Art of War turn is scary. They could have a pretty big Art of War turn here. I could be wrong. This feels like it's a favored matchup for us. Like, maybe we just get dumpstered by Levia. Okay, so things like this are a problem. Please take the Sunkiss. Whoa! Step 1 of not dying this turn. Literally took Pablo Pintor's list out, took out a Zealous, put in Null Rune, and then proceeded to forget to flip Null Rune into Briar. Dude, when you didn't flip it, we were all sitting over there like, like we were all like losing our minds when like you didn't have it. That and you arsenaling on not your turn was also a thing. I don't know if I should have blocked differently there. So we'll just block 3, take 3 here. We'll just play the Sunkiss on our turn and go back to 39 and then pass. Yeah, dude, we were all like me and Silas were texting each other and we were like, does he not have Null Rune in? And Silas was like, no, I don't think so. And then we were texting and Silas said, did he just Arsenal card on his like turn 0? Oh man. Okay, I think our opponent just like realized what was going on and what we were trying to accomplish there, so I think they just kind of conceded. This is a matchup that I actually think is interesting and that I want to get some practice into if I can. I definitely want to go first. I do have AB3 packed in for this matchup to try and make it worth. Respites makes it a little easier for us. It's hard to say what kind of attacks they'll be on, like if they'll be on attacks or not. So it's a tough decision, but we do have a lot of life gain. We have very good cards that block, and we're going to leave in Brothers in Arms, and we'll bring in the blue Staunches, and I'm going to bring in the 2 yellow Remembrance because they are yellows that play into the plan. So I kind of like that idea with where we're at as far as like life gain and stuff, and we'll see how it works out. It's nothing. Remember, I keep winning all the events, so I get free money I can use to support the community. That's like the coolest way to brag is putting the money you win playing a game back into the community. That's one, it's cool that you do that with the money that you win, and two, like, it's a really, really awesome way to be like, yeah, it's free money. So that's awesome, dude. That's hilarious. I guess we'll just sit on this Oasis respite forever. Like, that's probably just the plan here. Pitch, staunch response to make a surge. See what our opponent does. Play healing bomb and then arsenal the Oasis respite here. Sorry, I keep trying to read the chat, but I want to make sure that I'm like playing at a decent pace here. Can't even explain the arsenal thing, dude. Like, Flesh and Blood's hard. Period. Nobody, like, if anybody gives you crap about it, dude, they're a weeb. Like, Flesh and Blood's a hard game, man, and like it's tough to keep up with everything. So I'm going to ask Richard if he just hasn't signed up yet. That's wild. If they stop giving him one, he's fired practically every week. Well, not only has he fired practically every week, but like his ProQuest and his RTNs get good turnout. They get good numbers. So like I would honestly be very surprised if he wasn't getting a ProQuest. So yeah, I'll ask him, Bobby. That's actually a great idea. Is to be able to ask him. So let's just block 7. Like, a lot of these lists aren't really playing Command and Conquer anymore, and if they are, we'll just try to like hang on to it. And like we can just always block Command and Conquer with 2 cards. So what can I say? I love Flesh and Blood, dude. It's awesome that you do, man. Like, I love Flesh and Blood. Like, that's honestly like that's like why I stream it. Like, that's like I love to play Flesh and Blood, man. I do. Could have thrown the disable, but leaves the shields down. I'm not a huge fan of that against Icelander. How many are usually at Blue Post a week, Bobby? Ooh, good question. Nathaniel's asking the real questions over here. So we can AB 2, take 1, and then we can swing the hammer for 4 because of the frostbite. So not a super tough decision here. There's no damage to be taken, so I call that a win. If their hand is that awkward that they're forced to give us a red Ether Ice Vein there, win. Big W. Big W for us as far as I'm concerned anyway. I just started going back consistently about 2 months ago, but we've gotten between 6 and 10 regularly. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty good number. Like, I think that's a pretty solid number. Between 6 and 10 is like pretty good place to be at, I feel like. So Surge pops, we'll play Sunkiss, go to 42. We'll see what our opponent does here. They're just gonna pass. If they have attacks, they're just gonna try and like start pushing their attacks through on our turn. Those will be the cards that ultimately give them the most value. Honestly, it must be hard to keep any regular playing going in US since everything is so far apart. It's easier here. I run the only store that carries Flesh and Blood of the country, so everybody has to come. Oh, wow. Well, I mean, yeah, that does make it a lot easier for you guys. Like, if you have the capability to just be like, hey, like, come here or don't play Flesh and Blood. I mean, you know, like, that's it's a pretty solid way to, you know, to look at it. Like, if people have to come to you to play, then people have to come to you to play. Like, and that's how it is. So, I mean, I can't imagine this is ever going to come up. I guess we'll go to 39, and then I guess we'll swing the hammer here. Maybe I'm supposed to pass. I think I'm actually just supposed to pass since we're on like this like harder fatigue plan. So it's awesome that you run the shop though, man. It sounds like you're honestly like super involved with the community, dude. So like that's great. Like just getting to stay involved in the community is like really cool. Like I try to be as active with the community as I can on social media. Like, you know, like I don't know, like it's tough sometimes to like stay connected with a lot of people, and like, you know, I try to play as much as I can so that I can meet more people, stuff like that. Also, Zach, Autumn said hello, you nerd. Well, tell Autumn I said hello, even if she thinks I'm a nerd. I mean, I am a nerd, but you don't gotta be calling me out like that on social, like, you know, like in front of everybody. I guess we'll just go ahead and stop this. We'll go Brothers in Arms in the Fighting Spirit, and then I'm just gonna play Sunkiss on my turn. Like, we have 9 of these effects. We have 9 of these gain life effects and 2 Remembrance in our deck. We're playing the most toxic thing in the world. Like, it's miserable. Good thing is, you get all the ProQuests and RTNs, so we get all the goodies as well, but it's still a small community. We average like 20-ish people for armories and like 100 plus for bigger events. I mean, dude, like I understand that, like, when you say like smaller, I understand what you mean, because it's like it's less, like, you have less spread out people, so like it's harder to find yeah, we'll prevent this. Like it's harder to get more people to come there, but like 100 plus people, like if you guys have like an RTN or something, is like pretty good, man. Like that's pretty cool, you know, like having that many people at like an RTN or like a ProQuest or something like that, like, and 20 people at armories is still not bad. I mean, even if it is, you know, like if you're the only one, if you're the only store, I guess that kind of puts it in perspective a little bit. She's mean. I tried to stop her. I had no choice in typing that message. Bobby, I'm gonna be honest, man. I think you know that our friendship level at this point, I don't buy that for a second, brother. Autumn's never been anything but nice to me, so I don't believe that. I don't believe that she's like, you know, got a gun to your head making you say these things to me. Something is happening to Carly in the other room. Good God. Something bad must have happened playing Fortnite or something. I don't know what's going on in the other room. I don't know what's going on in the other room right now. Oh my gosh. Is that another sink below? Okay. I mean, we threw the disable to like try and take cards out of their hand, not really to like deal a ton of damage, just because I knew it'd take cards out of their hand. I can throw the staunch response here. Take 2, go to 38. Feels like an inadequate use of my resources here, which I'm not a huge fan of, to be honest, but I think it's fine. I don't know why they tried to undo their last action there. That was weird. Well, we have no premier events like Battle Hardened, so people consider RTNs and ProQuest as something worth going to. Also, Slovakia is so small you can travel through one end to the other in like 6 hours. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that like it was that small of a country, to be honest. Like, now, you know, to be honest, like my knowledge of the world is not exactly what I'd call great. In a lot of senses, I would call myself a dumb American when it comes to a lot of things like that. I just like, I grew up in a very small town in East Tennessee, so I'm not super educated on the world, which is by no means anybody's fault but myself. But I've tried to become better as I've gotten older and tried to expand my horizons. But I didn't realize you could drive across the entire country in 6 hours. I mean, it's kind of cool, but like I hear what you're saying. So most of the people justified coming for those events. I mean, yeah, if you guys don't get like callings and like, you know, and like battle hardens and stuff like that, then yeah, like ProQuests are your all's premier events. So that definitely makes sense. I was using Tunic for Brothers in Arms. Okay. I assumed it was going to be like a cold snap or something. The Insidious Chill is going to get me at some point. Like, I have to be careful with that. So, all right, yeah. Yep, we'll pay 2, pitching Thunderquake. We'll play the Oasis Respite, target the Ether Ice Vein, and then we'll AB 1. Pitching this, and then we'll throw the Command and Conquer on our turn. So we are going to take 2 here, which is unfortunate. This is definitely them creeping ahead with value a little bit here. Command and Conquer is not great, but it's by far our best play here. It's a 5-week ProQuest Season 2. Oh, it's 5 weeks worth of ProQuests? I didn't realize there was that many. Like, dude, I don't know if you remember, like, in January, there were only 3 weeks worth of ProQuests. So the fact that there's 5 weeks worth of ProQuests means I'll actually get to play it more than I thought. So Carly and I are going back to Las Vegas in October for the When We Were Young music festival. And so I'm gonna miss a week of ProQuests, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a little nice knowing that there's gonna be 2 extra weeks, because it means I have 4 weeks of ProQuests I can play in, which is kind of nice. Which means this Fatigue Bravo deck needs to start working. Oh man, I cracked myself up. So let's block with Spinal Crush here. We'll take 1, go to 35. How many attacks is that from our opponent? Our opponent still has 1 Wounded Bull, 1 Red Fighting Spirit, 2 E-Strikes. And then my opponent's going to AB me here, probably, if I had to guess. Or they're going to throw the Waning Moon at me. I'm going to pitch my Starstruck to Waning Moon this. I'm going to throw my Command and Conquer and hope that they don't have, like, a big turn here. Like, they have a Frost Hex set up. They definitely understand that they're going for the grindier play here. They're going for the grindier play here of setting up Frost Hexes to try and beat me. I do not have any Frost Hex hate in my deck. I kind of wish that I had some, like the item. I can't remember what it's called, the legendary item. Item that says, like, you have to, that you can, like, blow stuff up with. We'll prevent 1 and go to 34. We're definitely just going to Arsenal this. We go to 33 here off the Arsenal. Switch to the dark side, enjoying Katsu Legion. I do like Katsu, honestly. Like, Katsu is a ton of fun to play against. So, like, I'm not gonna lie, you wouldn't have to twist my arm very hard to talk me into playing Katsu on a like a more premier level. It wouldn't have to twist my arm very hard for that. We're just gonna go ahead and take the Staunch Response here. I wish I was able to play that on a, like, I wish I was able to pay more for that than I am, but they don't really have anything to do on their turn, on my turn, and so we're just gonna set up the Respite here and start trying to play a little bit of a grindier game. I'd play the Fatigue Bravo deck if Lexi left 2, but I don't want to lose to Kodachify. I mean, so that's like, I played against this, like, a similar list to this Fatigue Bravo list that I'm playing right now, and I lost to the, I beat a Fatigue Bravo playing like this when I was on Kodachify, playing Reinforced Alliance and Sync Pillows in my deck. So I think that really goes to speak at how good the Kodachify list is. Like, Fi just is into Fatigue decks. Justin says, are you mixing the deck up you're playing just to keep it fresh, or did you not like Lexi's playstyle at Nats? So, Justin, I love Lexi, if you want the truth. I'm honestly not a huge Ranger fan as a whole, if I'm being entirely honest with you. Like, the Ranger style of play, the whole arrow, like, loading thing, like, doesn't really feel that great to me, like, as a player. Like, as a competitor, I think that Lexi is, like, by far... I think that Lexi's by far the premier aggro deck in the format right now, like, no questions asked. We're going to go ahead and play Sigil, and I'm just going to AB2 and take 2. So we're going to hang on to our Respite as long as we can, so we'll just stay at 30 this way. Hopefully they can't deal too much damage to us like this. That was the one downfall of this turn. But yeah, I mean, like, Lexi felt really good at Nats, honestly. Like, the list that we had felt really clean and very crisp. There was definitely some tweaks I would make to the list. And in fact, my teammate Zach that played with me at Nats is still continuing to work on the deck. And him and I have been talking virtually every day about the changes we would make moving forward. And he's really committed to grinding that deck out. And honestly, I'm mixing decks up because I just like to play different things and have fun. I think it makes my stream a lot more interesting. I think if I'm playing the same thing over and over and over again on stream, I don't think that's very fun for anybody, if I'm being honest. So I like to mix it up and play some different things from time to time. So that's kind of why I'm just bouncing around and playing things a little bit. That, and I honestly wonder if Fatigue Bravo could be good enough to be played at a high level after Fatigue Briar's gone. The only thing you do have to worry about is Kodachi Fi. So I think I will be on Katsu for Worlds, but we'll see. Lexi still has so much room for innovation. Yeah, so I mean, like, Lexi is still like in a really good place. Like Lexi still feels very good. Like, she's still like in a great spot. But I mean, Katsu's great. I'm pretty sure Katsu was in the finals of the UK Nats, I think. I actually think that's what all the drama is about right now on Twitter, was the whole pummel thing. Gonna be honest, watching the game, I didn't really pick up on what happened, so I don't really have any room to talk about it, but didn't seem like that big of a deal to me. Could just be me being me. I don't really know. But it didn't really seem like that big of an ordeal. Like, just kind of seemed like I don't know. I don't really know enough about the situation as a whole to make a super solid assessment of what happened at UK Nats or why people are losing their minds right now. So I'm just gonna keep away from any comments that I think might be. I just think my any opinion I have is uneducated. If you want the truth. So let's pass and see what they do. They might try to Waning Moon us. I mean, if they do, I'm just going to pitch the Command and Conquer and just AB here. This would be a beneficial turn cycle for us, all things considered. We actually got to gain 4 life and block some stuff here. Actually, I can just pitch all of my cards if I do it correctly, which is great, because now I can go Heart of Fandle, Command and Conquer, Remembrance here. I'm actually going to go Command and Conquer, then Remembrance. I don't know if I said those in the right order. That's what I was thinking in my head, but... Are we fusing? Okay, so they're pitching an attack. Minus the last Scar for Scar. That's their last big attack. So they have an Insidious Chill. So we could Respite this here. I mean, pitch this to pay 2, Respite this off of this, and then throw Hammer with the Starstruck, keeping a blue in my hand. Doesn't seem bad. I actually think this is a better line of play. Just kidding. Wouldn't change the outcome, but it's surprising that none of the players realize that. Player just sharked by not discarding since Katsu did not announce it with the pummel. Oh, wow. That's pretty interesting. Now this makes it a drama. That's fair, Manus. Not necessarily illegal, just unsportsmanlike. I mean, so Nathaniel, like you're a trustworthy person, man. Like, I believe you. Again, I'm just in a spot where I feel like any decision that I would be making, like anything I would be saying, would be coming from an uneducated point of view. So I'm just trying to stay away from the topic. Again, I'm not really afraid of conflict or anything like that. I just don't want to get in a spot where it seems like I'm putting my foot in my mouth or something, simply because I just didn't know what was going on. So I like pitching like this because we're coming in for 4, we're putting pressure on our opponent, and we are setting up a situation where if they decide to play the if they play the Insidious Chill here, they have like minimal cards going into their turn, and we're only taking 3 here. The Lexi Mirror is the hardest part of playing it, honestly. So the Lexi Mirror is very intricate, in my opinion. I only played against Lexi one time, all of Nationals. It was a super weird game. I won the die roll. I went second. I started out with tempo. Like on turns 3, 4, and 5, I drew a power card. Like each of those turns. Like one turn I had Codex. One turn I had Rainrazor's 3 of a kind, and it was like on turn 2 or 3. Like it was pretty early. And so I started out super ahead in the driver's seat. And, you know, my opponent played super well. Like he was a great guy. He played super well. Very nice guy. Said he just got into Fab. I genuinely believe he's going to be very good at the game, considering he just got into Flesh and Blood. And then one of his turns was play I'm having a stroke right now. One of his turns was 3 of a kinds and a Codex of Frailty. So he blocks with 2 3 of a kinds and then pitches Codex of Frailty to play 3 of a kind. It was the most awkward hand like ever. Like it was so awkward. I hated it for him. It was really bad. Like, I can't help but imagine that they're going to like Waning Moon me here, and I'm basically just pitching this to incentivize them not to, because it's one more damage that I have to take. Like, or I mean, I'm just doing this to basically prevent the damage that they would pitch here. We'll go Buckling Blow them, Brothers in Arms. We're just going to play the Healing Bomb on my turn. They have an Insidious Chill in Arsenal. So again, their turn is with 2 resources looking like 3 extra points. I'm just going to Arsenal the Fighting Spirit if this is the route they want to go. This is a card that attacks for 6 and gains me a life, so... Though there is a line of text in the rules that describe the exact situation detailing when a player should be DQ'd, so I don't know either, LOL. I mean, yeah, so I mean, I guess that's fair. Like, you know, like it's weird because it's like there's a line between like rule sharking and trying to enforce the rules. Like, I don't know. Honestly, guess judges resolved it and nobody got DQ'd. Fair game, but it raises questions about the thin lines and rulings. I mean, yeah, and it's like you're putting the judge in like the judges in weird situations by making them think about, do I, like, you know, like, what are we supposed to do here? Do we DQ a player here because something wasn't technically announced? You know, it's like, I look back on it and think, how many times have I played a pummel and not announced, you know, the trigger? Because it's like, it's commonly understood knowledge between you and me, a competitive player. But I guess in some way it is on me to make sure that it's on me to make sure that I am doing that. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I was able to figure out that Richard will be having a pro quest with Classic Constructed. It's not set up in Gym, so it won't show. That is great news, Bobby Boy. That is great news. Thank you so much for figuring that out. That honestly makes my, like, that's like a lot better information to have. Just as a whole for the rest of my day, because I thought that we were not going to have any pro quests. Like, the closest one we're going to be like 2.5 hours away from us. So the fact that Richard is getting one makes me feel a little bit better about the fact that we can hang out close to us, and, you know, not really have to like go anywhere or like do anything. We can play a little bit there. So that is nice. So we're just going to play Sigil here as an instant. So this is going to be... We're definitely going to pay here. The question is, how much is this for? What, he paid 6, so this is for 3? So we pay 1, take 2, go to 25. We'll go to 21 here. I hate when it does this. This has become a more permanent glitch where like the weapons and things will like pop up at the bottom and you can't get rid of them. Thank God. Just get him to put it on a weekend I don't work. That becomes the real issue, doesn't it, man? Doesn't it? I can't imagine players coming to 12-round events and commenting and announcing every single thing that happens. Not a fun experience. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, yeah, I agree. So we got 4 damage incoming here. So I think it's best case scenario. Like, it's best for me. Oh, I'm going to take 2 here because of the way it was set up. So I'm going to pitch the respite. Now, I am down 8 points. Question is, how many life gain cards have I played? I've played 3 Sunkiss, 3 Sigil of Solace, and 2 Healing Balm. So there's a Healing Balm left in my deck somewhere. Let's pitch a Terra Sunder. There's basically never a world where we're going to get Terra Sunder off. And then we're going to pitch Cranial Crush here. I'm going to throw the Fighting Spirit here. This is a 7-point swing. So we take 0 damage on their turn and then set this up. They have 1 more Frost Hex somewhere in their deck. I don't think they blocked with it. Like, really good player, a really good Icelander player won't ever do that in a million years. So they've set up 2 Frost Hexes. They have 1 more Insidious Chill left in their deck, and they have 1 more Frost Hex they can set up. And they're out of Wounded Bulls. They're out of Scar for Scars. They have 1 more Fighting Spirit left, and they have 1 more E-Strike. So they have some attacks to like take some value out, like to take some what's the word I'm looking for? Like they have some attacks to take cards out of our hand and then try to get us, which is just going to be tough. I was really hoping they would do something here because I'm not going to put this blue in my arsenal. Like, I want to keep this in my hand. I don't want to get rid of this here. October 7th, 21st, and November 4th weekends. Those are the weekends that you don't work. So let's pitch a Fighting Spirit here. And then on our turn, we'll just pass. We're going to cover this up completely, leave ourselves with 1 blue, and then just pass. And we'll just hope that that's not a Insidious Chill. Or not an Insidious Chill. I mean, Insidious Chill would also not be good for us. But Ice Eternal. Ice Eternal's the card we really need them not to have here. They could probably just kill it. Wait, is a 3-week ProQuest season. Oh, so it is only 3 weeks. Sag. That's depressing. I was like, dude, when you said it was 5, I was stoked. I was pumped. I was so ready for 5-week ProQuest season. Back to Sag mode. Zach, do you know of any specific weekends that the team members don't have something already going on? Are you talking about other ProQuests? So are you talking about like when we don't have like when we're free, like from like other big events? Is that what you're saying, Bobby? Just to make sure I understand. I just want to make sure I'm following here. Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? So let's just throw Debilitate for 6. Like, we just want to put pressure on our opponent while continuing to put cards back into our deck for later in the game. Yeah. So I don't think there's any ProQuests going on. Sorry, I can't really look right now. I don't know what the dates are. I know that Out of the Box Gaming is a weekend that the team will be going to the ProQuest. Hang on one second. So I know that I'll be out of town the weekend of the 20th and the 21st. Sorry, that's what I was asking Carly and making sure that I had my dates correct. The 20th and the 21st is, I know, the weekend that me and Carly will be in Vegas. So considering that Nathaniel can do the weekend of the 28th, I would ask Richard, if he hasn't scheduled it yet, to do Saturday the 28th. That would be the most ideal for me, honestly, if that was a situation we could make happen. Okay, here's our last healing card. And here's that big or the big Ice Eternal that we didn't want to see. Okay, so we need to keep a blue here. No, we're just going to discard this. So if we block 3, and then this is going to cost 3 to play, we're going to have to take 2 from the Waning Moon he's going to play this turn. He revealed a Polar Blast, so he's going to throw that. Out of the box is the 28th, but the 29th is Atlanta so far. I mean, yeah, it would suck to have it as the same week as Out of the Box, because I would love to go to Out of the Box and see them, to see Taylor and them. But, I mean, if I had the choice between doing the weekend of the 28th, where like the whole team could be at a local thing and not have to go very far because I know all of us are in town, or we had to spend that weekend going all the way to North Carolina, I would choose to stay at home. So again, my vote is still for the weekend of the 28th, but the only weekend that I know the team has prior obligations, to my knowledge, is the weekend of the 20th and the 21st. And that's because Carly and I will be in Vegas for that When We Were Young festival. Now, again, if Richard has to schedule his ProQuest the week of the 20th and the 21st, I understand. It's not going to kill me to miss a ProQuest. But, you know, I mean, I'd like to be there if I could, you know. Don't kill me, please. I beg you, sir. Just another turn. I'm honestly surprised I'm not dead yet, if you want the truth. I feel like I should be. Could do the 28th out of the box and come back, because I don't think there's anything in North Carolina the 29th so far. Richard does like to do Sunday ProQuests, honestly, so if we could do Sunday the 29th, if Richard wanted to do Sunday the 29th, that would be cool. Honestly, I think I'm just going to like message Richard after this, after my stream here, and talk to him, because him and I are actually hanging out next week. Him and I and Carly and Kayla, Carly, Kayla, and I, yeah, all 4 of us are hanging out next week. So Richard and I have been trying to get together and hang out outside of cards and stuff, man, forever. It feels like it's been so long, man. Like, Rutro, I'm in danger. Heart does him no good here. Okay, so we pitched Fighting Spirit again. Yeah, we'll pitch the Fighting Spirit. I'm going to leave myself with the shields down here to prevent as much of this as I can. So I'm going to end up taking 3 this turn and going to 18. And then I'm just going to have to pass on my turn. Right? So there's 1 E-Strike left, right? There's 1 E-Strike. No. Okay, so the only attack left in his deck is the Fighting Spirit, which means we are moderately playing around him having some scary turns. He's gotten rid of the... He got rid of the... Oh, God. Oh, no. Please. I have a family, sir. God, this means he's going to pitch 3 blues and show his 1 card. Which means it's going to be make 5 Frostbites. I think I'm dead. I think I'm dead. Take 5, go to 13, and then take 15 and die. Sag. Wasn't enough to hang on. Gonna click 0 all the way through. Well played, opponent. Good job. I mean... Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe there's too many reds for us to really keep up with Icelander. Like, maybe we need... Like, I don't know. Like, maybe a more regular Bravo appeal is where I'm supposed to be at with the Bravo list. Like, maybe I don't really need to be playing, like, hard fatigue Bravo. I do like the idea of... They play some bigger attacks. Let's put staunch responses in. Might as well put the blues in too, I guess. Like, what the heck? Just run 66 cards. So they're also playing that many cards. Interesting. And then I'm just going to pass and arsenal my sink below. I mean... They put in remembrance. All right, so they came prepared. I mean, take 1 to be able to dominate a crippling crush, because this is going to cost 6 and we have 8 resources here. At least you sometimes beat Kodachi Fi with regular Bravo. Yeah, you never beat Kodachi Fi. I don't think you can't beat Emberblade Fi or Kodachi Fi with this deck, just to clarify. Because if your opponent is playing Emberblade Fi and they have 2 copies of Phoenix Flame, they can fatigue you. Literally at the end of the game, when they get you down to 1, they're just fatiguing you. That's all they have to do is fatigue you. Like, that's it. Yeah, give me all that equipment. Okay, you're not an experienced Runeblade player if you're giving me Spellbound Creepers on like this turn of the game. Like, no way. He said that Sunday would be good if that works for people. He also asked the chat so it can be decided after more people have chimed in. Okay, no, I mean, that's completely fair. I hear that. That math do be mathing to me. Let's pitch a Healing Balm. We'll take this one. And then we'll go Crippling Crush. Interesting. I mean, I know they play it. I just wasn't completely ready for it. We're gonna sink the Sunkiss, as I can see. Like, maybe we draw another defense reaction. Was looking to try and gain some life there, but the pummel there kind of threw me off. I wasn't super prepared for that. Like, and it's a card that I know that these decks actively play. I wasn't thinking about it in my head. What does this say? I mean, I guess let's just play our cards here. Like, they're forced to give us multiple pieces of equipment here, or the crown. Which, again, okay, so they're gonna give up the Carapace here. I guess they're waiting for command. They're waiting to play around Command and Conquer Pummel, which is a very smart play. I'm just not playing command. I'm just not playing Pummel in my list, so. Oh boy, I'm in danger. So this is gonna be for 11. So there's what, 5 rune chance? That's fine. And then we're just going to play Fate Foreseen, Opt 1, and then play our Staunch Response. Bottom that. We'll just go ahead and bottom that. And then we'll choose not to pay. And then we'll arsenal our other Fate Foreseen here. Hey, what's up, Clown? How are you, brother? I am playing a little bit of cards, man. I was like, this and Fortnite are like my two things that I really play a lot of. This is like my main hobby though, that I like really play a lot of, man. What have you been into, brother? I was like, I saw you streaming the other day. I was like, but I haven't I haven't got to catch up with you in a minute. You been doing all right? So let's play Sigil. Let's pitch Fate Foreseen, and then let's just come in with the Cranial Crush here. I would have thrown the Cranial Crush if we had that capability, but we didn't, so work has been kicking my ass. I've been there, man. I know that feeling. I have been there, my man. Are you still doing the landscaping? I think that's what you told me you were doing. I'm gonna be honest, I can't super remember off the top of my head, but that's what I think you said you were doing last time we talked. Yeah, dude, it's been hot the last few days. At least like in Tennessee where I'm at, man, it's been hot. Like, dude, have you like, dude, make sure you ain't like, you know, have a no heat stroke or something, man. Like, gotta be careful, man. Gotta protect yourself. What is this, like some defense reactions or? Okay, you have one from hand as well. Okay, all right, that makes sense. Okay, so this is how they go for it, Nathaniel. I think this is how they win. They try to like OTK me in some fashion. I think they just try to kill me all in one turn here. Bro, tell me about it. I mean, listen, I was playing golf the other day when it was hot, so it's a little different than your situation, I would say. It's like you're out there in the sun, man, like working to death, so. And then there's 2 more rune chants, so this is going to be for 7. So I can give Terra Sunder and Fate Foreseen take 2 rune chants. I think that's the correct thing to do. Oh no, there was 3 rune chants. I miscounted. So I probably should have pitched my blue and then given equipment. We'll leave that on top. We might be able to throw this here. We might be able to throw this. Pretty good turn by our opponent here. I think we're just taking 6, going to 23, hang on to our equipment as long as we can. We'll go Heart, then Fighting Spirit. We'll play Sunkiss, go to 26, pass to our opponent here. Appears we should have put that on the bottom. Talk about some reds here. OTK, but they take Blood Debt. I mean, yeah, that's true. They do take Blood Debt if they don't play all of their cards. So, like, with enough pressure and enough, like, randomly good turns from us, we can definitely, like, put them in an awkward spot. I guess we'll just pitch the Spinal Crush here. Play the Command and Conquer. Like, let's just put pressure on our opponent here. We just want to put pressure on if we can. I know we're not getting any value off of it, but... So this is Respite and Staunch Response here, which is pretty good. I mean, it'd be a lot better if they had Thorn, but... Because I can't really block anything. Yeah, because this is going to be for 8. I mean, we're taking the first one anyway. I really like that Talishar put that little note up there that says, "Note, this is unpreventable," or whatever. Like, I'm a big fan of that. All right. So Surge Pops, we're going to pitch Healing Bomb to make one, and then we're going to gain 3, go to 23, and then we're going to Arsenal our Respite here. Because, okay. Interesting. So, okay, thought I clicked on Thunderquake. I must have missed it here. So come in for 6, and we'll make a surge before that. We are threatening the pummel here. Interesting. I guess I just have no respect for the pummel potential there. Maybe they have, like, maybe they're playing Reinforce the Line or something crazy. So with this, we can actually just throw this. We can just come in for 8 here. And if they are playing Artivore or something in their deck, then they have no possibility to throw this at us. The best way to win the game from this point is to gain life where we can and then just throw big attacks. So we still have all of our equipment to block with, and I'm just gonna like start going after him here. Like, I mean, as much as I can. Dude, I am dropping all of my shuffling cards tonight. Like, that's like the 3rd time I've dropped my cards tonight. I don't know if I'm like shuffling too fast or like what the deal is tonight. I'm like all over the place. I'm just gonna set those down for a little bit. So let's figure out what we're doing here. This is 1, 2. How many rune chants is it? It used to tell us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the one that's on the... No, there's 7 rune chants. So 7 puts us to 19. If I block 6, take 1... and then respite something, because this doesn't have go again. Pitch this, pay 1, and then we take 0. We play the respite, pitching this to prevent the 4 damage. And then... Joke's on you, buddy. I got an answer this time. So that's fine. We're going to take 4 here, but we discard nothing. So like their pummel was just 4 damage. Get out of here. I was like, you get out of here. We don't want none. Play Runeblood Incantation and then play Funeral Moon, I imagine. Try to save a life here. Probably what they'll do here. Pay to prevent 1, and then I guess let's make a surge and come in for 7 here. So we're setting ourselves up in case we draw like a Spinal or a Crippling here that we can try to just like dominate it. I'm not gonna lie, like playing Fatigue Bravo has really like, it just makes me realize how much I miss Bravo. Like I just love the Guardian style play. Like, block effectively, take your big turns when they come. Like, it's just such a fun style of play to me. And I just think there's a lot of benefits to that, like, style of play. I wish there was, like, a no problem button. I always wish there was, like, one of those buttons that said, like, no problem, like, when people did stuff like that. Like, when they were like, oh, sorry, I'm like, I get it, dude. It's all good. Like, no worries. So they lost life and then played Funeral Moon as an instant. Neato torpedo, as the kids say. Okay, so Oh boy! Oh boy! We're living on a prayer. Whoa! We're halfway there. Man. Oh man, give me 3 cards, big boy. Let's go. You love to see it. Oh, give me all 4 cards. Num 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 num. And now we get to Arsenal. Pretty good card in this matchup. They make a rune chant and pass. I'm just going to throw a dominate at him. I mean, keep on trucking. Let's push that pedal to the floor. We're at 24. They're at 12. They do have 9 rune chants stacked up, which is a little scary. I mean, there's quite a bit they can do with that, but we have every single piece of our equipment left. Okay, so we're going to block 6 rune chants of the 11, take 5, go to 19, and then I'm going to give them Sink Below and Crown of Providence. And then get a card in my hand, and maybe we can throw Hammer. Guardian is my favorite style of play, said the mono red aggro player. Listen, dude, okay, I've come a long way since my days of Magic. You can get out of here with all your judgment, Nathaniel. Good lord. Oh man, dude, you're so right though. I used to play like only aggro decks back in the day, and now I can't get enough of this like block more style of play. What's happened to me? I'm washed. It's all gone downhill. Ooh. Interesting. Are there any Command and Conquerors left in our deck? 1. I don't think we're going to draw it, though. I think we've seen them. I think we pitched it, probably. Beating that 6 is going to be tough, because that means we're going to have to take a turn off. We can pitch our Sink Below here. Take 4, or is it 5? It's 5. And then this happens. We're going to put our Arsenal on the bottom and draw another card. And then we're going to go Sink Below. What is that? What is what? I had to. Oh, you had to go read what Oblivion does. He says if you have exactly 6 rune chants, you make this thing. And it's basically pay 0 attack. And if it hits a hero, banish a card from their soul. And if it's a light card, you gain 1 life. It's basically the thing from Chain, like a different variation of the card from Chain, basically. I can't kill this thing, so we're just gonna attack them. They still have their Crown of Providence, so the only good thing going into their turn is that they have 0 rune chants. So I just had to say something, didn't I? None of these things attack. Attack that stupid thing. Now, they do have to have Go again to really, like, utilize it or anything, so... And they can't really abuse me with it without having access to Spellbound Creepers, so... I mean, I guess I could have given all 3 pieces of equipment to stop them from making a rune chant, which I guess, like, could be worth it on some level. I really want to be able to kill that thing if you want the truth. Like, I want to be able to kill that. So their rune chants don't come off when this thing attacks. Interesting. So I can take 3 here. Actually. Yeah, no, I have to keep 2 cards. So I'm going to take 3, go to 14 here. And then we're going to make a surge and kill that thing. Like, we got to get that thing off the board. That thing's pretty dangerous. Downloading Pixelborn right now? What even is that? Like, I don't know what they undid. We're just attacking their token. I don't even know what Pixelborn is, dude. What is that? Is that like a game or something? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They're going looking for remembrances. Third-party Lorcana player. Oh, yeah, I haven't really gotten into that. Future Strings deathly well. This is the +5. And this is the create rune chance. Okay. I mean, again, like, not great, but... One, two, three, four, five, 6. So block 6. Fate foreseen this. Give equipment. Take nothing. Don't give them any rune chance. Actually, did they pay life? No, they didn't, because they realized that they can't keep paying life. We will eventually get them if they keep paying life. Like, at some point, Nathaniel was correct on his earlier statement. They might just run, like, they may just, like, run into some, like, awkward blood debt. And we may just, like, get them if we can, like, pressure them in the right situations. We'll bottom Macho Grande. Good card, but I don't think it's what we're looking for here. We're just going to gain 3, go to 17, and Arsenal Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer is the perfect example of a card that we want to make them feel awkward with. That's a pretty good turn for me, I feel like. I could pitch the Spinal Crush here, or I could pitch Fighting... Actually, let's pitch Brothers in Arms. This is what we're going to do. We're going to pitch Brothers in Arms. We're going to make a surge. The heart does nothing, and then we're just going to throw this. Because this is like they need to, like, give us cards here. Current Lorcana control deck looks fun. I mean, dude, I've heard great things about Lorcana. I'm going to be honest. I just, like... one card game is enough of an expensive hobby for me. I don't really, like, want to get into, like, more card games. Not only do I not want to get into more card games, but I also don't really want to, like... Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, if you want the truth, Lorcana just kind of feels like a money sink. Like, it just kind of feels like it wouldn't really be getting a ton of value out of it. Like, it'd be a fun game. I just, again, like, I have a very negative point of view on the whole money sink thing. So, I think Macho Grande puts the most pressure on them. I mean, they're not going to die. Like, they have equipment. I figured they had a defense reaction here from their arsenal. I guess not. Okay, they're just going to go to 1 here. Now, they do have quite a few cards. I mean, I guess the floor of our turn is Staunch Response and Staunch Response here. It looks like we may be pitching... Oh, boy. So, this is going to be for 11. This blocks for 10 effectively. Block 4, take 1 rune chant, give them a rune chant on the back end, and then we block 7, 9, 11. So we block 11 using equipment effectively, take 1 rune chant, play Healing Bomb, and pass. I mean, it's not a bad turn cycle, all things considered. We take this one. 7, 9, 11. 4 and 7 is 11. I'm just making sure I'm doing my math correctly so I don't just like play myself here and do something dumb. So we lost 1 life, gave them a rune chant, which means we essentially lost 2. And now I'm going to turn around and gain 3. So that was a +1 turn cycle for us right there. Pretty good turn cycle. Probably going to keep 1 full deck to play depending on what OP is looking like. If store tournaments have some dang good prizing, I'd be willing to spike some. I mean, that's fair. So that's a good way to look at that. Like at the game is to keep 1 good deck on hand and then just like say, hey, I'm going to go play some tournaments and like, win some free money, if you can, like, so it's not a bad way to look at it. It's not a bad way to look at it, especially if you get into it for like a decently low cost of entry. Like that really all depends on like what that looks like. You never really know. Like in my opinion, like it's tough to say what cost of entry is going to look like into a game. So 2-2 tonight. Pretty interesting games so far. So beat a Prism that I did not think we were going to beat. I don't know if I think my opponent made a mistake somewhere along the way by letting me blow up 4 of their spectral shields when they didn't have to. So think that was an interesting decision by my opponent. And then Waffle Lightning. That's a cool name. And then so we beat the Prism right at the first game. We lost to, what did I lose to after that? I lost to 2 things that are lost to a dash, and then I lost to something else right there. I can't remember. What our second loss was to. And then beat Vincent, and then Olivia left in the middle somewhere. Yeah, I can't remember what our other loss was to. If somebody remembers, I'd love to know. So my opponent has charged. So I'm just going to play the Oasis Respite here. I don't like that it's only a 4-point card here instead of a 5-point card, but I think like our opponent, like every card, this is kind of like Dash. Every card they play loses is worth an extra card. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how this game goes. Once they overprint it, the cost of entry will probably be closer to Pokemon than Fab. I mean, I think that's a pretty reasonable thing. Like if it's genuinely Pokemon costs, I'll probably get into it cheaply. Like I will probably like on a cheap level of the game get into the game to have something to play, kind of like what you're talking about, just so that I can have something to like play and come and like hang out with you guys and stuff like that. So the running theory is here, are we playing Disable to make them give us a card in Gallantry Gold and making a Surge, or are we just throwing Cranial Crush? I think it's Surge and Disable here. I think that the Surge has presents a lot of potential value that you can't really measure on a certain level. Both with Crippling Crush and Spinal Crush, and honestly Starstruck as well. Starstruck has fit really well into that category of playing the setup patience Bravo game that I've truly come to enjoy. Lost to Icelander. Thank you, Nathaniel. Yes, lost to Icelander. Played that close game against Icelander. I mean, it looked close. My opponent played very well and was like very methodical. Never really felt like we were in a decent position in that game, if I'm just being honest. But I mean, like another power turn or two, and maybe we're like winning that game. They were a pretty high life total, so like not like we were in the driver's seat by any stretch of the imagination. So this turn right here is like we're probably looking at block with Spinal Crush and the Staunch Response, play Sigil of Solace. Or if we're in a spot where we only need to block with the Spinal Crush, we can just throw the Commanding, make a Surge, throw the Commanding Conquer, and then play Sigil of Solace. We'd have to keep our entire hand to throw the Spinal Crush, and that's just really not worth. Oh, Blossom of Spring. Get him. Get him. Charges 2 cards, so this is a 1 for 5. So definitely looking like a pretty good staunch response here. And then, I mean, I guess if, like, worst really comes to worst, we can block Spinal Crush and Command and Conquer. I'm probably just going to go Spinal Crush on equipment if they throw, like, a Snatch or something at us. Yeah, it says light cards get +1. Wait, no. Attacks. Okay, so it's just attacks. So their Snatch would be for 6. Oh, no. Stop it. We have to give quite a bit of equipment this way. I wonder why they wanted to enable chat. Do you know why I don't get +2 from Vanguard? Vanguard says on this combat chain, you broke the chain for Lumina. I think that's how you spell Lumina. Gonna be honest, not even sure if I spelled that correctly. Did I spell that correctly? Yes! That's a win. And do it that way. I believe it works that way. Gotta get that spirit out on the board. What? What are you talking about? Not at all, dude. I would much rather my opponent start over and us play a better turn. I would much rather our opponent start over and us play a better turn by far. So Lumina, Blossom of Spring, V for Vanguard. So now this is going to be for 5. So now my staunch response blocks differently, and I have open information, so I know he's going to give go again here. So I'm probably just taking 5, going to 35, playing staunch response, and then going card legs. So it's open information. Can't Lumina first if he hasn't charged. The amount of people I cheated by adding Vanguard to my Lumina swings to 2021 is non-zero. Lol, I believe that. So, can he only attack 1 time? Oh, he can only attack once. Right? I wonder if that's how that works here. I wasn't really considering that being an option. I feel bad if that's the case, because I don't want him to think I was, like, cheesing him or something. God, please tell me he can attack again. Oh, if he can't, I'm just going to be sad. Yeah, I was not thinking about that. Want to undo. Do it differently. Please do. Like yeah, I feel bad because I just told him that it works, and I think him and I were both. I think him and I were both under the impression that it all worked this way. So thanks, Nathaniel, for clarifying that, because it definitely helps clear that up, especially for future questions. So now my turn is like really not great. We're looking at. He probably plays Soul Shield somewhere in his list. I don't know. Unfortunately, I used to play Boltyn. I don't know. You said you used to play Boltyn when I started. Like when I started, you talked about playing Boltyn for a while. You had just gotten into Briar when I like met you and started playing this game with you. So like I remember that you used to play Boltyn. So I can block with a Staunch Response effectively. I mean, he's charged this turn, right? Yeah, so maybe I'm just supposed to block like this. Make another surge and dominate Spinal. Just started to play good decks, lol. Yeah, I remember when I met you guys. Like, I thought you and Alexander had been playing Briar forever, but like it was really just Alexander that had been playing Briar forever, that you had really like just kind of started getting into it. Activate Bravo. I feel like that should be like a cool thing, like activate Bravo. Like if I could like do a cool deep voice, like this would be like insert that cool deep voice, and then like say like if you could have like Optimus Prime being like activate Bravo, it'd be awesome. Like it'd be really cool. Here's another defense reaction from Arsenal. Puts us in a bad spot. I was like, if not, then we're still pretty good here. We'll go Staunch up top. It's like, so he doesn't have Go again, which means we're like in an okay spot here. So this is for 3 because of the Courage token. Borvo go bonk. I love that. That's gonna be like, I'm gonna have to make that like a sound bit or something. And I'll have to like buy a soundboard or something for the stream. It'd be hilarious. Borvo go bonk. That's great. Surge, Command and Conquer, Arsenal, the Healing Bomb. I mean, he could snap here. I guess he could also Boltyn here if he wants to. I would be okay if he decided to Boltyn here. We'll bottom that. Playing Guardian, we're just kind of churning through our cards here. Trying to see as many cards as we can here over the course of the game. I could also just throw a Spinal Crush. I could make a Surge, and actually, I'm going to make a Surge. Throw the Command and Conquer, and then I'm going to Arsenal the Spinal Crush. I'm going to stop playing, like, Fatigue Bravo, like, gain life, and just try to play, like, Aggro Bravo here if I can. I still have most of my equipment. I've only given up 3 points. Obviously, my opponent just doesn't care about their arsenal. What? Lumina Lance. As an additional cost to play this, banish up to 3 cards from your hero's soul, choosing a number of modes. Gets +2 when it hits draw a card, and when this hits, gains go again. That's pretty cool. I mean, doesn't seem very good. Like, doesn't seem great here, but it seems cool. Why does this have go again? Oh, the Quicken. He had a Quicken token from something. Lumina Lance was my nickname in high school. Shut up, Nathaniel. Shut up, dude. Oh my god. Lumina Lance was my nickname in high school. It's like so ridiculous. Cringe. So cringe. So activate Bravo. So make a surge, activate Bravo, activate Borvo. And Spinal Crush him. Honestly, a soundboard might be a cool thing to add for my stream, like as a whole. That might be fun, like something fun to have. No, ew, stop it. Don't soul shield me. Just die. Just take damage and die. Lord. Next Bravo activation goes pay 2 red. Discard, I give you bonk. Dude, I'm all about this like Bravo bonking stuff. Like Bravo go bonk. Like it's so fitting for his character, I feel like. It's such a on the nose thing. So this costs 6 and I have 9, which means Surge, Borvo. I'm gonna start calling it that. I like that, Billy. Billy, you've like created something new for me. You're gonna hear me on Friday nights just being like, Borvo go bonk. American staunch good. Dude, when you sent those pictures of Kale saying that in the chat, dude, I was dying. That was great. Like, I was laughing so hard at those pictures. He was like, where can I get a hold of these American staunch responses? What's better? New Zealand pummel, or New Zealand Artivores, or American staunches? Like, Kale's so funny, dude. He's great. Lord. Should have taken a nap today. Sadly could not. Had to work. Had to do a heckin' work. So I can't play cards that are base 6 attack that aren't... That is correct, good sir. I was like, I'm hoping this just like ends his turn. Ah, after I like destroy my headset there. Good lord. Hey Billy, if you're still in the chat, are you going to Halo Night? I meant to ask you if you were going to Halo Night. I think they moved it to the 23rd, I think is what they said. I didn't know if that was official yet. Pray to God that you know how to forget me. Oh, is that a crippling crush I see? What is this? Whenever an attack action hits this combat chain, create a courage token. All right. So a 0 for 3 that creates a courage token. I'll let this one hit. Yes, everything should be good for me too. Oh, nice. I can't wait for some Reach. Dude, I'm so excited to play Halo Reach. Like, dude, I love Halo Reach, man. Like, Halo Reach is so much fun. I don't even know what this does. Your weapon gets +1 this turn. Does that mean I'm going to have to let this hit one time? I mean, I could dig for another defense reaction, but that just seems like a bad idea. I can dominate a crippling crush. I mean, I could just give all of my equipment. Like, there's no reason to. I can, like, let my opponent have a 6-point swing. They go to 11, I go to 30, and then I still get to make a surge and dominate a crippling crush. About to drop my shuffling cards again. Lord, I've been fumbling tonight. Jesus, LMAO. Yeah, I mean, I've had a very good draw against my opponent based off of what they're playing. Like, don't actually think that my draw's been, like, insane here. Trade offer. I give you Dominated Crippling Crush. You discard 2 cards, Borvo Stonks. What are you shuffle? Like, what cards am I shuffling and what do they look like? Okay, well, first off, you're just going to make fun of me, so I don't want to share with you what they look like, Nathaniel. But they, like, so do you remember, like, when you and Icelander came to my house for, like, the first time, like, I don't know, a decade ago? And, like, he sleeved up a Scar for a Scar. It was a Scar for a Scar, an Ether Hail, Lava Burst, and a Soul Reaping. Well, I don't know if the glare is going to get him or not, but this is still them. I would never make fun of you. Get out of here, dude. This is the same cards that Icelander sleeved up that day. They're in the same 5 sleeves that, like, the back is missing off the part of them because I shuffle them so often. Like, this is, yeah. I'm just hoping my opponent only has a 3-block and I can actually kill somebody with a dominated blue debilitate. How cool would that be? My opponent seems like a very nice person. They just kind of seem like they're new to the game, so just kind of felt like we ran him over a little bit there. All right. 3 and 2 on the night. I mean, 3 and 2 on the night's not too bad. You know, I mean, I've definitely had worse nights playing Flesh and Blood, I'll say that. Had a lot of fun tonight. Also, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I meant to talk about at the beginning of the stream and I kind of forgot, is that Kuzco, I don't know how his name's pronounced on Twitter, actually tagged me in a post earlier. He has been advocating on Twitch and on Kick to get Flesh and Blood its own gaming channel instead of it just being card games. And now it has its own channel on Kick. So tonight was the very first stream I've ever streamed on Kick where Flesh and Blood had its own card section, which was really cool. And I really enjoyed that. Like, just seeing it on there was really awesome. So big shout out to Kuzco. I assume that's how you say that. Big shout out to him for making that happen and, you know, for being a real bit advocate of the community. So, you know, if you see this, man, you know, I appreciate all the work you're doing, man. And like having like our own section on Flesh and Blood is really cool. So, and if you guys are friends with him and know him on YouTube and you want to tag him in the comments, that'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. Appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. I had a really good time. The things that I'm taking away from tonight's stream are that Fatigue Bravo not the Bravo you should be playing. I think we all knew that beforehand, but I just thought it'd be fun to try. So if I was going to be playing Bravo, it'd probably be super close to Pablo Pintor's list. I'd probably change a few cards, knowing based off my own style of play and how I like to play things. But I think that Bravo is a really solid deck right now. Oh, excuse me. And I think especially with Fatigue Briar rotating out of the metagame, I think that Bravo has a really good shot at being great come ProQuest season. So anyway, thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. I will probably be back on Thursday. Oh, one other thing. I'm going to create a poll of some of the decks that I'm thinking about playing on one of my community posts sometime tomorrow and ask you guys what decks you guys want to see on Thursday night. I'm going to be streaming Thursday night. But I want to see what you guys want to see played, and I'll play whatever gets the most votes. So I have a little bit of control because I'm picking what decks I'm putting up on that poll. So, but if you guys have others and you want to comment on it, please do. I'm happy to consider other options as well. So, Nathaniel said at least they're not Magic cards. Lol, that's funny. All right, thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. I appreciate it. I will see you guys Thursday. Take it easy, guys.